good evening, our beloved viewers. It's 9 p.m. You are watching on Live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the major stories. A launch of the Youth Skills Development Project. And on the international scenes in New York, a young man shot dead near Times Square. Those were the top stories. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. At the generous initiative of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Ismail Margili, it was decided to perform the prayer for the soul of the martyrs who perished as a result of devastating earthquake that struck the two sister republics of Turkey and Syria. Prayer is held in all the mosques of the national territory following the Friday prayer in solidarity with the families and relatives of the martyrs and government of the two brotherly countries. It should be also noted that His Excellency the President of the Republic had sent a telegram of condolence and sympathy to his Turkish counterparts against the background of this painful incident. إلهي سبحانه وتعالى آخرتنا الله قاري إلهي هم حريصنا حريص الله إلهي أبد وجه اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة ونعوذ بك من عذاب القبر ومن عذاب النار ومن فتنة المحيا والممات يا ذا الجلال والإكرام ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. The Turkish Vice President announced that the number of earthquake victims has risen to more than 20,000 deaths, and they injured to about 73,000 people in Turkey, while the number of earthquake victims in Syria has risen to more than 4,000 deaths and 5,000 wounded. On the other hand, the satellite channels showed satellite images published by the researchers specializing in the disaster afters and the disaster affairs, how the devastating earthquake that occurred in Turkey and its impact extended to Syria led to the change in the shape of the land in Turkey. We saw several satellite images showing areas in Turkey before and after the earthquake to show the differences made by the natural disaster there. Rescued and relief team in Turkey and Syria continue their work 4 days after the earthquake occurred in southern Turkey and northern Syria in an intense searches for survivors of the disaster with these mighty hopes of finding survivors in Turkey. Relief team continue after 100 hours to rescue those trapped under the rebels as a result of the devastating earthquake that struck the region on Monday and claimed the lives of thousands in Turkey and Syria. Turkish rescued team used hearing aids and thermal the cameras to track those trapped under the rebels' destroyed buildings in a rescue operation, some of which were described as miracles. More survivors, including children, were recovered in the state of Haiti in Turkey and also in southern Turkey, which are three of the 10 states hit by the earthquake. Turkish rescue team managed to pull a girl's life in Turkey after 96 hours under the rebels to rescue the girls from under the rebel 4 days after the earthquake occurred and to rescue the boy in Turkey after 99 hours under the rebels. Other news now, His Excellency the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, the Minister of Labor in charge of official SAFIR and Social Protection, Mr. Umar Abdi Said, the Minister of Economic and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dewali, and the representative of the World Bank sponsored the event of the ceremony dedicated to launch a project related to the development of youth skills at the Kampeski Palace Hotel. A number of members of the government, the Deputy Secretary General of Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, personality from the private sectors and civil society, in addition to senior officials of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, participated in this ceremony. The event was inaugurated by the Secretary General for the Ministry of Education project, its component and dimension. After that, the project manager at the Ministry of Education and a senior official of the Ministry of Labor gave an extensive presentation of the project in all its. In his speech, the Minister of Labor in charge of formalization and social protection, Mr. Umar Abdi Said, in his speech, he referred to the importance of resources allocated by the World Bank for this project, amounting to $15 million. We follow more of this with the with this project of the skills education, he concluded. The Minister of Economic and Finance, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dewali, in his speech, delivered on this occasion, during which he discussed at the length of importance advancing cooperation between the public and private sector in order to create job opportunities for large number of young people. Part the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, stressed that this project constitute a platform for advancing discussion of priority issues and 5 years action plan for the implementation of national vocational training within the vision and education policy until the year 2035, he said. The Secretary of State in charge of sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamel, received in his office yesterday, Thursday, the runner Ibrahim Hassan, who won the gold medals in the country in Japan. He was accompanied by the Djiboutian runners, the winner of the 42-kilometer marathon, Ibrahim Hassan, president of the Athlete Federation, and many leaders and members of the federation, in addition to the vice president of the National Athletes Federation, during this attend in this event. During this meeting, the Secretary of State expressed his pleasure and satisfaction with the outstanding performance presented by the Djiboutian runners Ibrahim Hassan and his winning of the gold medals, pointing out that he considered this champion as an example for Djiboutian youth. In conclusion, the minister pledged to the runner Ibrahim Hassan to provide all the necessary support from his department so that he could work in condition. It was yesterday, last Thursday, the ambassador of Djibouti to Ethiopia and permanent representative of Djibouti to the African Union, Mr. Abdi Mohammed, present his credential to the Comor president, and in his capacity of as ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary of our country to the Comor residing in Addis Ababa. At the outset of the occasion, the Djiboutian ambassador, Mr. Abdi Mahmoud, convoy to the Comorian president, the greeting of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Mergel, and his wishes for good health and happiness, and for his people further advancement and prosperity. Ambassador Abdi Mohammed also stressed the work to develop relation between the two countries and joint cooperation in various files. In turn, the Comorian president welcomed the Djiboutian ambassador, assuring him for his country's readiness to provide him with the necessary support and facility to enable him and carry out his diplomatic mission, represented in the strengthening bilateral relation and partnership between the two countries. On Friday, the 10th legislative election of the year 2023 were launched. In this regard, the Director General of the Djibouti Radio Television Corporation, Mr. Aden Abdi Jama, mobilize a full team with the all human materials and technical resources, all the administrative, technical and logistical team of the Radio and Television Corporation have prepared to carry out the media coverage of the electoral campaign for the legislative election schedule for February 24, 2023 to the fullest. During the campaign, Radio Television of Djibouti will be at the center of this national event. Since yesterday morning, Thursday, the various team consisting of a journalist, a photographer, or edition have been preparing to carry out their assignment mission, which is to carry out distinguished coverage of this campaign. A total of 50 radio and television staff went to all campaign center to cover the first day of the campaign. This team will remain on site throughout this campaign period, during which meeting and electoral festival will be held for the political blocs. A broadcaster has mobilized all the human and technical means and necessary to cover these 2 weeks of election campaign. And now, the Agency for Standards and Quality Promotion of Djibouti conclude today the media part of local awareness campaign on standards, compliance, and share its with the various economic partners in the private sector. In this regard, a team from Djibouti Agency for Standards and Quality conducted an inspection zone. It is noted. It is worth nothing that the Golden Campaign keeps peace with all concerned parties. The development of the national economy from the private sector and the public sector within the framework of the national policy in terms of standards, credit, and the qualification of this product. In a speech by the director of the National Agency for Standards and Quality, Mr. Awale Musa, he noted that the agency had concluded the media part to ensure and educate the community about the agency's tasks. He said, the Minister of Youth and Culture in Tejura region conclude the activities of the National Artists and Language Week with the musical celebration held in the capital of the White City on Thursday evening under the championship of the Minister of Youth under the chairmanship for the Ministry of Youth and Culture. Dr. Hibo Momen Asowe in musical entertainment evening were organized in the region of Tejura in order to celebrate the activities of the National Artist and Mother Language Week. The regional authorities, headed by the governor of the region, Hassan Dabele, deputy and head of the regional council, youth association, and various components of the city of the city's population participated in this event, which was held at the Community Development Center. And now moving on to the international scenes, a young man was shot dead Thursday evening in New York near Times Square, one of the most important sites in the metropolis where it is forbidden in principle to carry weapon while walking around, according to what the police announced. New York police intervened to rescue the young man who was shot in the just at the intersections of 8 and 44 avenues in Manhattan in front of the fast food restaurant. The police spokesman said through the email that the young man died of his injury after being taken into the hospital, saying that no one was arrested in the case and the investigation continues. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.